Personal finance is more than just how to save money. It's about how to make money as well. With all of the complex financial decisions that you need to make every day, from spending less on your next car purchase to saving up for your first home, being financially literate can mean the difference between being an average person and becoming wealthy and successful. However, everyone has their own definition of what it means to be financially literate. So to figure out what the rules of personal finance are, you first need to know the basics of personal finance itself. There are some basic things you need to know, understand, and implement to take charge of your finances. Number 1. Invest early and often. The primary rule of investing is to avoid investing in anything you do not understand. When you are offered with an investment opportunity, take the time to learn how it works before putting your money into it. Before investing in a business, you should understand what it is about, how it makes money, its potential market, its profitability, how it has grown in the previous years, and so on. Do not put your money into something you are unsure of. Do not be taken in by the get-rich-quick schemes. You must understand that building riches takes time. Anything that promises you an immediate maximization of profits is nothing but a scam. The second rule is that you must never invest money that you are not willing to lose. Life is a game of risk, and a person who is unwilling to take chances will not get very far. Keeping this in mind, you should be aware that investing is a high-risk endeavor. It is only for the brave of heart. Before you invest your money on anything, make sure you have calculated the cost. Even with meticulous planning, an investment might sometimes fail. You must be mentally prepared to lose whatever money you put into an investment. Those with this strong intellect get the most out of every investment, because they understand that the more the risk, the greater the reward is. Investing is putting your money to work while you devote your time to more profitable activities. You can invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, and other assets. Some investments are high risk, while others are low risk. Determine your financial objectives and invest in what will help you get there. If you are concerned about losing your money, you might considering low-risk investments. Number 2. Learn the difference between an asset and a liability. If you guys want to be rich and build wealth, this is all you need to know. This may sound simple, but most people have no idea how profound this rule is. Most people struggle financially because they do not know the difference between an asset and a liability. Rich people acquire assets that make them even more rich in the long term, but the poor and the middle class buy liabilities, and they think it is assets. We focus on the word financial literacy, what defines something to be an asset or a liability in words. If you really want to be confused, look up the words assets and liability in the dictionary. But the definition may sound good to a trained accountant, but for an average person, it makes no sense. But we adults are often too proud to admit that something does not make sense. Most people truly believe they understand what an asset is. For example, you may believe that your home is an asset, whereas it is not. The reality is that there are two definitions of an asset. Another definition, based on simplicity and truth, is used by the wealthy. A liability refers to anything that takes money away from your wallet, whereas an asset refers to something that puts money in your pocket. The house you currently live is not an asset since it costs you money each month. Although if you own your home entirely, you still pay for taxes, maintenance, and other expenses out of your own cash. However, if you own a rental property, it might be an asset if it generates cash flow for you each month. Your tenant's rent covers your mortgage, upkeep, taxes, and other expenses. Number 3. Keep your expenses under control in relation to your income. No matter how much you make, obtaining financial independence is impossible if you spend more than you earn. No matter where you are financially, no matter what your career or level of income is, the amount you spend monthly should be less than what you make. Spending more than you earn will put you in unnecessary debt and make you a slave to lenders and companies for the rest of your life. A personal budget is the simplest approach to control your expenditures. Most individuals associate budgeting with constraint and a life of discontent. This could not be further from the truth. Budgeting is a must if you want to be financially free and achieve your financial objectives. The first step in developing a personal budget is determining how much you make versus how much you spend each month. To do this, you must monitor your expenditures using a software or just writing down everything you spend your money on a monthly basis. You may do this for 3 months and then average your monthly spending to estimate your monthly spending. When everything has been finalized, you may proceed to create a budget. You must understand the distinction between necessities and luxury. Some things are unnecessary and may be avoided. Spend as little money as possible on those items and prioritize the basics. This will assist you in reducing wasteful expenditure. You can compile a list of what you need and get the most necessary and urgent items first, while others can wait until your next payday. To obtain long-term benefit, you must develop the habit of delaying quick satisfaction. Number 4. Live below your means. The first rule of being financially literate is to live below your means. This means that you are spending less than what you make. If this is difficult for you, start by spending less than what you bring home after taxes. This could involve cutting back on certain expenses or saving more each month. The key is to never spend more money than you have coming in and to save as much as possible when it's available. You will eventually get to a point where the amount left over at the end of the month is so significant that you can use it toward emergencies or major purchases. Next, leave within your means. You should always be able to pay off any monthly obligations without having to take out loans from others or putting items on credit cards. It's better if you can also pay off some debt before getting new loans, but either way, don't let debt snowball into something larger than life. Thirdly, manage risk prudently. Your goal should be diversification, which allows for investments in stocks, bonds, and other securities with a variety of risk levels. One way to increase diversification is through mutual funds, which contain many different types of investments in one investment package with varying degrees of risk profiles. Number 5. Save your money. According to Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, says that how rich someone is and also how poor you are is not determined by how much money you make, but how much you keep. Saving means putting money aside for the future long-term goals and short-term goals. Whenever it comes to saving, the most important thing to remember is to put money aside rather than spending it right away. Those who have practiced the act of saving lead a life of financial independence. They always have money set aside for the future, making your savings more effective and reducing the temptation to not saving. You may automate it by utilizing apps and by contacting your bank. They give this service of automated savings instantly. Whenever your pay is received, a certain amount is removed into another account. Always save at least 10% to 15% of your monthly income. Depending on your responsibilities, you should always put some amount aside monthly. A rule in saving is that you should save for emergencies. An emergency fund is recommended to have at least 3 to 4 months worth of your expenses. This fund is what you put aside for unforeseeable circumstances such as job loss, car repair, medical expenses, and other things you might not expect. While you are saving for the future, you should also clear off your debt of the past. Number 6. Taking your own decisions on personnel finance. Whenever you are doubtful about your financial skills, you allow others to make financial decisions for you. You delegate investment decisions to your financial planner. You let your bank decide what interest rate is appropriate for your money. You stick to whatever investing trend is trendy in the social media. The wealthy do not follow the masses. Entrepreneurs set the trends and then disappear when the trends become popular. What's their trick? Because they have great financial intelligence, individuals can think for themselves about money and make their own financial judgments. The secret to accumulating enormous riches is to have vast information on which to act on and knowledge and wisdom to recognize which path of action is optimal. This level of knowledge and insight can only be obtained by a high level of financial intelligence attained through financial education. Number 7. Leveraging debts and taxes. Debt is bad, and taxes are unavoidable, according to your financial advisor. However, the wealthy recognize that both debt and taxes may be leveraged to generate enormous riches. There are 2 types of debt, bad debt and good debt. When your financial consultant urges you to avoid debt, she means avoid bad debt. Obtaining money for liabilities, such as using credit cards to purchase TVs and going on a vacation, borrowing a line of credit on your personal house, and so on, is an example of bad debt. Staying out of bad debt sounds like a better advice, but your financial consultant will not tell you about good debt. Good debt is debt that is utilized to buy assets such as rental property. Once you utilize the bank's money to buy cash-flowing real estate, you use less of your own money to secure an asset by making only a down payment rather than the entire purchase price, and your tenant's rent pays off your loan while you hold the asset and profit. But when it comes to taxes, the wealthy recognize that governments create tax structures to promote certain sorts of activity. Governments will grant you a tax break if you develop affordable homes. They offer you a tax break to boost energy development. They offer you a tax break if they want to see more jobs. The fact is that most tax breaks are designed to assist entrepreneurs and investors. With the proper financial education, you too can use the tax law to not only become wealthy, but also to pay no taxes. Using excellent debt to become wealthy through taxes requires a high level of financial knowledge. However, anyone may learn and use these ideas. Number 8. Cash flow or capital gains. The majority of people invest for capital gains because that's what they are taught in home as well as in the society. The rich invest for cash flow. To put it simply, investing for capital gains is equal to gambling. You put your money in and hope the price rises. For example, many individuals purchase a home with the expectation of eventually selling it for a higher price. Meanwhile, they must pay their mortgage and other household bills. Money is taken from their pockets. It become a liability. The difficulty is that when you invest for capital gains, you have no influence over whether the price rises or falls, and if you do earn a profit, you pay the highest tax rate. The wealthy, on the other hand, invest for cash flow. For example, They may acquire investment real estate using other people's money, locate tenants to cover expenditures, and collect rent each month. It turns into a benefit, and any financial gains are an added benefit. The wealthiest have control over their income and pay the lowest tax rate, and occasionally none at all. By investing for cash flow rather than capital gains, you may get the highest tax benefits. However, while investing for cash flow is a basic idea, it needs a good financial knowledge to make your own financial judgments. Okay, at last, we just want to tell you that successful personal finance is about following sound principles and cultivating them as a way of life. You can enjoy financial independence even if your earnings are modest. But it will involve both planning and commitment. Develop your plan today and resolve to maintain it throughout your life. Your future self will thank you.